record on. Thank you so much, everyone. Well, welcome to our monthly fold. Absolutely brilliant to have you with us. Be letting people in as they come along. Special event. We've got a visitor today who is from Japan but happens to be here in Oxford, and we're going to be just folding the magical, brilliant, amazing crane, which we all think of as very much the traditional piece of origami. And we're going to be hearing a bit later from Kimi about how cranes have that significance in Japan and what she's doing as part of a larger organisation to encourage others and to bring what she calls circles of smiles. So just to let everybody know, I am recording this session, so if you don't want to be filmed, then obviously feel free to switch off. Names don't come up, but so just to let you know. But it'll be all lovely to be together. So let's get folding, I guess. And then after that, we'll start asking Kimi about it. And actually, we're going to fold one crane together. And then after, going to ask some questions and we'll keep folding cranes. And this will hopefully inspire you to either, definitely first crane you must make for yourself. After that, maybe you could make more cranes. And there's a possibility, if you were up for it, to send them here in the UK, and Kimi can help send them on to Japan for a really beautiful project. So imagine your cranes flying across the world and just feeling a little bit more connected and inspired. So let's get folding a crane. Grab yourself some paper, and I will highlight myself just so that you have the option of it being bigger if you wish, or you can go to the audience mode, whatever's good. Oh, I'm gonna go back to the gallery, and I think pinpoint myself. Still learning as we go along, aren't we? There we go. So lovely. So I'm just going to show you just from normal paper, A4 paper in my case, but if you had letter paper, then that also works. So I'm simply folding in half, and it's just really so that you know you don't need special paper for origami. Any paper will do. I have to say with the cranes, it's such fun to use colourful paper. It's an extra level of enjoyment. So I've just folded it in half, a little nick, and let's fold a crane, and then we're going to ask lots of questions as well. So I'm going to use just half a piece of paper, like so, and then I'm going to take a corner and line it up at the bottom. And there's an interesting sort of repetition in this as well with the crane, obviously making lots, and we'll be asking about the 1,000 crane legend. I have to say I've loved doing things like modular origami, which has a lot of repetition as well. It can be very calming. We're going to remove that rectangle. That's great. See Lizzie and Layla are all set up with their papers as well. You may well have some origami paper as well, and I'm just getting rid of that, but it was just to show you, because I always assume that people would just have any old paper around. So got our square. I'll just make sure that everyone's ready first of all. And actually the first time I showed this, I showed it in a different way, because I've been adapting for online really, because the three-dimensional side is quite difficult. So I've been folding it one way, but I've gone back to folding this the traditional way, so I'm going to show you that. And it's very comfortable in the hand. And you'll hear later on, I was very intrigued because Kimi said I was doing it differently to how people there are, which is really interesting. There are so many ways to do anything. Everybody happy? You've all got your square? Excellent, great. So your square, fold it in half along the diagonal. Nice and pointy, nice little sharp triangle. And however many times you've done the crane, I hope you can just enjoy doing it again, because it's a joy. Right, I think I'm going to put it this way up, like a little hat. That's it. Lovely. Happy everyone? Just, yeah, it's simple, beautiful. And next we're going to fold it in half along that middle line. There we go. Folding it in half. There we go. And probably you'll be doing this on a solid surface, which makes it a bit easier. But as you all know, I tend to try to show into the camera if I can. It's like we're opposite each other on a table then. So if you open it a little bit, you've kind of got a pocket here. So I want you to pop your finger in the pocket. I find it good because you're getting rid of the wrinkles, and then squashing it up to make a square. Like so. And giving it a good fold, making sure everything's nice and lined up. Just enjoy taking your time. That's it. Lovely, everyone happy? And yeah, the lovely thing is we really fold together, whereas if actually we were around on a table and it was new, then everybody needs that kind of individual attention, which is quite tricky. So this is enabling you in your hands. So turn it to the back now. That's it. And I'm going to fold back along that middle line. I find that useful just to get that sticking up like a little sail there. And then again, pop your finger into that pocket and squash it up like so, and squashing it down there. There we go. So hopefully it looks like this, a little bunched up square. Lovely, excellent, great, lovely. Oh, nice paper there. Kimi and Zule have got some pretty papers too. So we're going to take that top open edge and fold it along the middle line, like so, keeping it all nice and lined up. And there's something always quite transforming in how it makes you feel, a crane. We'll talk about this a lot more, but for now we're just going to fold. And then the other open edge at the top, folding that to the middle. And again, just take your time. Probably easier on the solid surface. And a traditional crane isn't actually the easiest fold at all. But it's so symbolic and it's such a lovely fold. So happy, all looking like that? Great. So we're going to take the bottom kind of triangle and push that up, and it makes kind of quite a neat little shape. Pushing that up like so. Happy? Good. Okay, right, we're going to slightly open it. I always like to think of opening a present. It's just nice. So it's opening this up. Lovely. I tend to like to hold this. This is almost like a little handle, I find. And we're going to take just the top layer, very top layer, there, and pull it down like so. So I'm holding that triangle, pulling this down. And now this is the slightly tricky bit. You need to gently roll in the sides. The top will go probably quite easily. The bottom, you have to slightly reshape it. And you're not adding any extra lines, but you're just changing the direction. So you just have to kind of coax the paper a little bit. And it's all about, I always think about origami as well, it's about being really respectful, kind and gentle to the paper. And maybe you're doing that to yourself as well. You're being kind and gentle as you do that. Are you all okay with that? I think most of you have done this before, but I'm assuming not. So, because there'll be people watching this film who haven't. So, turning it round, and it's the same thing, holding that bottom triangle, taking that top layer, pulling it down, and again it all feels a little bit like you have to reshape things, so be patient with the paper, be patient with yourself, rolling in the top gently, one bit at a time, making sure it's still nice and sharp and pointy up there, and the same on all those sides. We're almost there. There we go. Lovely. Happy, everyone? Yeah. So I think I'm going to turn it the other way up, right? Because I think of these as the sort of leggy bits. Let's have the leggy bits at the bottom. Yay, that's right. Do a little walk. So we're just going to take this outside layer and fold it along the middle. I've tended to try to leave a tiniest bit of a gap, so don't do it too super close to the middle because it's a little bit trickier later on. At least that's what I've found. So I'm going to take that top layer and fold it along that middle line, but maybe the tiniest bit of a gap, so you don't have to be too close to the line. Particularly when you're making smaller cranes, I find you need to give it a little bit of space. And the same with the facing edge. And folding that again into that middle. I definitely could do with doing this on a surface. You can too. It's this lovely little pointiness and concentration. However many times you've done it, you still need to concentrate, and I think that's just good for the mind. Thank you. Now turning again to that smooth side, the leggy bit outside to the middle line. We're almost there, and very soon we're going to be start to hear from Kimi about the beautiful significance of the crane. There we go. So it should be looking like this. Lovely. So if you turn it almost sideways, and we're going to open up the side and then take this bottom bit and fold it all the way up to where it will naturally go, and then folding it into itself like so. So it was down there, and then folding it up and folding it into itself. That's it, and keeping it actually sticking up quite a bit there. It could be a parrot, but we're gonna use that other tail. Again, the side, anybody stuck, just say bringing it up and into itself, and hopefully we're almost there. Hopefully all we've got to do is add a face. So usually I find one side tells me it's more of a face than the other. It somehow just has that feeling. So one of them, whichever end, I want you to just take the top bit and bring it down and then sort of squeeze it sideways. Not sure about that face, but they all vary. They all have their own little character. So you're sort of pushing it down flat and then squeezing on itself, and hopefully you'll get some sort of a face. It may be that Kimi has different ways of doing these things. I'll be curious to hear a bit later. But some kind of a face, and then maybe we can all do this together. We're going to take the wings and bring them out sideways, and as you bring out the wings, it will gently inflate the back and it just spreads it out, and you should hopefully have a crane like that. That's it. And in Japan, but actually many other countries as well, people then string them up. So actually you could have kept it like this, and they can stack together with the thread, just starting to stack them up together, and you can make amazing long trails of these cranes. So just to give you a taste, so that could be something for a home, or to definitely make cranes that we can send. Has it all worked for you? I think many of you have done cranes before, but it's a joy, isn't it? Yeah, and they all look different and unique. Oh, could we take a picture of us all with our cranes, our first cranes for this session? Oh, and Jags, excellent. Right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Fantastic. Lovely to see them there. So, Kimi, we'd love to hear about what you're doing. A bit later on, we'll start folding more and more cranes while chatting as well. Tell us about what you're doing.
Thank you very much, Lizzie. So everyone, nice to see you all. My name is Kimi. So I'm very glad to be here. And also it's a very special moment to make this crane together. And thank you very much for joining us. So let me introduce myself and also the project I'm doing. Can I show some of the pictures too?
Yes, I think it should just work. You're a co-host,
Okay.
so
Okay, so could you just give me a second? I just wanted
no
to.
problem. So Kimmy actually got in touch with us. You will hear more as part of Origami Pulse.
So can you see this slide?
Yep.
Okay, so let me explain a little bit about our project and ourselves. And the project I'm involved is called Yumetomo project. And it's Japanese word Yumetomo. Yume means dream, Tomo means together. So it's like a dream together project. Yumetomo project in Kadoma, Osaka, in Japan. That is western part of Japan. And then our mission is to create a community and where people with dementia shine as they relate to fellow residents. Because when people get dementia, these people tend to be isolated socially. So we'd like to create some new connection between dementia patient and also the people in the community. So we do a lot of activity to do that. And one of our activity is origami crane project. We would like to create opportunities for people with dementia to take active role in their own community. So can I show you some of the event we did last time? Let's see.
Yes, please.
This is origami crane project in 2020. Some of the cranes are made by dementia patients and elderly people, and some of them are made by citizens in Kadoma cities, organization, everybody cooperate together. Look at this beautiful art. See, everything was connected. And then, can you see this smile face of elder people and dementia people? And they make the paper cranes at care homes. The reason why we come up with this project is because of COVID-19, because many of activity is our cafe and marathon project. We couldn't do any of these things after COVID-19. So we tried to figure out what we can do right now. Then we come up with this crane project. And then these are the elder people who live alone. And then by making these cranes, their smile came back. And then I really love these photos. Dementia patients and elderly people, prepare for the exhibition. People are have a great time to do it. And then many organizations, citizens cooperated. And then after the during the exhibition, these dementia people and elderly people went and see this art. And they said, we're proud because we created this art. So we'd like to do that again this year. And this year, we'd like to connect dementia patient and the world. That is our new dream. That's why I'm here. I'd like to ask you if you would like, of course, the first origami cranes, of course, for you. But if you'd like to make one more and then send to me, I'd like to send to Japan so that this will be exhibited together with the origami cranes made by dementia patient. And then this is a special exhibition in this July 2022. And then we'll try to make 20,000 origami cranes. And then so these dementia patients will be so excited. Their origami cranes will be connected with the origami cranes from the world. So that's why I'm here. And then if you are interested in, please send to me. If you're in England, please send to me your cranes, origami cranes, that I'll send to Japan. And if you're in the library, you can give that the origami crane to the staff member of the library. Am I correct?
That's right. Yes, that's
Yeah.
right, Kimmy. Yes,
And
they
I'm
will.
going to pick them up in June 13th, and then I'll send to Japan. And so if you can send to me by June 12th, I can send to Japan.
These are just such beautiful photos, aren't they? Utterly, utterly uplifting. They're so vibrant. There's just something so magical seeing them there together. Also, the way that you put them together, it's just a joy to see. Those crowns are incredible too, aren't they? And so many different ways that it looks like you can string up the cranes. And
Yes. So if you
yeah,
can send me the individual cranes, that'd be great, because after we receive it, we're going to connect your origami cranes and the dementia people's cranes, then create the origami cranes trees and the different kind of shapes. So we're so excited about this new project.
amazing, absolutely beautiful to see. And it sounds as if almost maybe this time of COVID, the same for us actually. I hadn't been doing anything at all online, and it's because of this time that we've had to reach out to each other more. And it's really beautiful, the community that this brings. And origami actually works really well, doesn't it, teaching online as well?
Yeah, exactly. And this project give opportunity to people with dementia some active role in the society, because they contribute to this art.
Yeah, they're very, yeah, absolutely proud of what you can create and what you can create together, and you're still such a valued member of your community as well. And it will just make everyone's spirits soar. So shall we get on and maybe fold some more cranes and also chat as well?
Mhm.
So I'm going to ask him lots of questions, but
Yes.
please, other people
Okay. Let
ask
me just
questions as well.
finish
So
this
if
slide.
you're able, yeah, if you're
Yeah.
able to finish that, I will just gently fold cranes as well. I think most of you probably know, but I will still try and show nice and clearly. I'm going to spotlight Kimi as well there as well. So I was really intrigued. The thing that struck me about this project, just utterly beautiful, but it also struck me, actually, I was thinking about here in the UK, could we have people in care homes folding cranes? And I really can't see it, because it's, although it's lovely, maybe it's possible, maybe my ambitions aren't great enough. I think it'd be quite hard to start with. Um, but what I think is very beautiful is because in Japan you've learned as children, haven't you? And then that stays with you throughout life. I
Yes.
think this is a really good case as to why we should be encouraging children to fold, because it will stay with them through their life. Um, and yeah, if there's anyone who wants to ask any questions, I will. Oh, Zule, please. Yes, your hand is up. Oh, we've got a question. Yes.
Hiya, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, you two, for being here, and all, I'm overwhelmed, because for a long time I wanted to join Lizzie, and this has been the perfect occasion. And to say the less, the crane was the first thing that connected us as origami pools, and it has been like a joy to see how we have been even connected before we connected.
Yes.
And I just want to agree with Lizzie. Yes, with care home it will be quite difficult. However, because I have worked with groups that basically are for dementia patients that are at early stages, and with the carers and the relative, it will be a lovely project to basically unite the carers and the relative to do it together, because sometimes it's quite difficult, but it's achievable when we all have the same loving.
Yeah, yeah, and actually we should be ambitious too. But I think it's also a good reason as to why you should be learning as a child.
Exactly.
We did also, Zulai is my very treasured colleague and friend, as Origami Pulse. We run it together. We also have another friend as well who's part of Origami Pulse, and it's really lovely actually, women together supporting each other. It's been just incredible. So it's so lovely that you can meet Zulai as well. Kimi, we're beginning to get questions from people as well. Thank you, Keelan. Do boys and girls learn to fold cranes? Is there any difference between? Because it looks like it's mostly women there who are folding.
Yes, actually, both boys and girls learn how to fold the cranes. Actually, in Japan, we learned how to make these cranes and origami in kindergarten. So I learned this when I was kindergarten. And also, the parents and the grandparents make these cranes at home. So we have so many memories to make these origami cranes at home. So yes, both boys and girls both learn this.
Wow. And so kindergarten, that's really young, isn't it? What sort of
Yeah,
age?
kindergarten, like 4 years old or
Yeah,
5
that's
years
so
old.
young. Oh
Yeah,
my
and
word.
some children are much earlier.
Yeah.
So that's why it's interesting. Like people, before you say that's kind of difficult to make the cranes in the dementia people, but in Japan, many even dementia people and elder people, they had experience making origami cranes when they are child, or when their mother and father, they teach their children and the grandchild how to make. So maybe their hand still remember.
Yeah, it's with you throughout your life from that. But yeah,
Yeah. So
those warm feelings. I mean, to some extent, people, I found within a hospital, everybody has special memories, and they're
yeah.
really warm, lovely memories of origami. Paper aeroplanes, water bombs, and the fortune tellers. And it's all about being gently rebellious at school with your friends, which is just so lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting some nice
Yeah.
questions too. So, from Galen as well. Is the way that I showed this the traditional way? Kimmy, I think
Yes,
it's
it's
you.
perfectly traditional way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, I'm not sure there's some other variation
Yeah.
exists, but
Of course.
what as long as what I know, and I'm not a specialist or specialist, but from my point of view, what Lizzie did show me exactly the traditional, that kind of like what I learned when I was a child. What amazes me is like the Lizzie show you in the air. That is amazing skill from my point of view, because I always made on the table. So actually my colleague in Japan saw the Lizzie's video, and the Lizzie show how to make the origami cranes in the air. We were always kind of impressed by Lizzie's
Oh,
special skills.
that's so sweet. And to be honest, again, it's the using a camera and this time of COVID which has changed us. But in many ways, as we've gained skills, we're connecting to each other across the world. Learning to fold into a camera has definitely been a new skill. So, that's really interesting. So, you're all folding? You're saying before you normally fold on a table. Is that because that's how you learn? Because I
Yeah.
assumed actually you can get really tiny little papers and they fit so comfortably
Mhm.
in your hand. I assumed it's very much a hand activity rather than on a surface. Is that the case? It's mostly on a
Yeah.
table for you.
Yeah. So at least for me, like I always, learn how to make that on the table.
On
So.
the table. Yeah. It's interesting. So with some more
Yeah.
questions, yeah, I suppose thank you from Bev. I suppose our sort of equivalent is the paper aeroplane. It's
Yeah.
true that we learn to fold from a young age, and grandparents fold for us when we're little. Yes.
Yes, I think that is equivalent for that too. We all have a kind of like a fun memories. Yeah, we make paper cranes too. So it was kind of, it's kind of brought us back some nice memory, and that is, I think that's great for the elder people too.
Exactly. And the meaning of, I mean, in a way, a paper aeroplane, you make it so you can throw it, and whereas the crane, why do people make it? What is the kind of reasoning behind it? What
Yeah.
does it mean to people?
In Japan, we have a culture to create the origami cranes while praying for the health and happiness of people who are important to us. So that's a special meaning for us. That's why we try to use these origami cranes for this exhibition.
Yeah, and because I've been very fortunate to have gone to Japan twice, and saw in the temples how people string up the cranes
Yes,
along and hang them up. So is it seen as a sort of, is it related to a religion there, or is it more just a kind of
it's not specific, specific to religion, but much
yeah.
more prayer. It's kind of, people's prayer
Yeah.
for the happiness for other people. And
Oh,
then we have a tradition to make a 1,000 crane. If somebody got sick, we make a 1,000 crane and give it to these people.
wow. So the thousand craned
Yeah,
legend.
yeah,
Wow. And that's just such a large number, isn't it? That
yeah.
dedication.
So this time we're gonna to, instead of making it 1,000, we just kind of like make some creative things like origami cranes, trees, and so on. So again, like you can just send us that individual. You can send many, but the kind of individual cranes that we're gonna make some art together.
Yeah.
And then we're just focus, not just art, we just kind of focus on the process. We'd like to create a communication by making origami cranes like we do here now with, all of you. So, and that is, I think, important for creating communities.
Yeah, it's just a lovely thing to do together, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like calming activity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's something which at first it's a little bit tricky, but with time it just becomes something not quite fully automatic, but it does a little bit more. And it's just, I always find it kind of lifts my mood and it makes me just feel really good.
Yeah, and it's kind of like some calming effect for me too. For example, before today's session, I just want to focus for this. I just made one more cranes. I made one crane before this session. I made this crane during this session. But by making these cranes kind of calm me down and focus, something peaceful.
Yes. And the significance of cranes, are they seen as a bird with significance to people in Japan?
Yeah, it's kind of like, good luck, and we, it's a symbol of long life too.
Yeah.
So that the crane itself is a very good symbol in Japan.
And I mean, there are quite a few different traditional pieces of origami. I mean, the crane clearly stands out. But what about other things? Do people use much origami in their childhood,
We use
in their
it.
lives?
It's much more like when we are, as a kindergarten, we learn it as we do it for fun. And then we play with it because we made some like a purse or kind of like ships and so on. So that is kind of like it's so fun to play with it. And so that is for many people, it's have a fun memory of when you were a child. And of course, some people really develop it, like make a very amazingly beautiful origami art. But for many people that have a very great memories. And what is interesting about cranes is like even if many people forget how to fold other types of things, but many people remain at least origami cranes, including me too. Like when I went to the United States to study, I was asked to make to show how to make origami, but at that time I forgot almost all the origami things because I didn't make for many years. But at least I remember origami cranes, so I can teach how to make origami cranes.
And it's something people always want to make, isn't it?
Yeah, so many people make it because, I think that because of that, tradition, and also this is how we learn it too.
Yeah. Do you have much sense of the kind of history of origami, or it's just one of those things that's just part of your culture?
Yes, I mean, I don't know the real history of origami so much, and maybe I have to ask some specialists about it, but it's very close to us. And then it is interesting that it was very close to me when I was a child. And again, when I became a mother, it come back to me again because I want to share with my daughter how to make origami. We have a great memory to make it together. So it's kind of part of our life.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very much a family.
Yeah, family and the school. And if someone got sick, we made this, cranes. So it's part of our life. And then you can buy the origami paper anywhere, like any, stores near us in the supermarket, or it's so close to us.
Yeah. And apart from with children, do people do it as a therapeutic activity?
I think that there's some hostel do it for that as a therapy purpose too, because I think it make use at hand.
Yeah.
And so on too.
Yeah. And just that focus of doing something that's
it's very great to focus on that. And then I think many people have at least some experience or made it before.
Yeah.
So.
And the significance of paper as well. I mean, I love how, in a way, paper, so much of our society is based on using paper. And for most countries, it actually hasn't been obvious to fold. It's been to write and to draw on it, which is obviously creative in different ways. It's very interesting that I guess paper came to Japan from China quite a long time ago, and that's what you kind of came up with.
Exactly, like so that have a long history too.
Yeah.
And the great thing is origami that we can make from one sheet of paper. We don't need even scissors. I mean, maybe scissors or even the staples or any tools, just one piece of paper. And then I was so impressed that when I received the origami cranes from France, I saw some letters on it. So that's so I was so inspired because origami we can make origami from any papers, any language. So that was kind of exciting part of this project too.
I think next I've got some paper that was some of my drawings that I've been doing at the brain. I should do some of those so you've got some.
That's great. So like I never saw that origami crane is with the brain art. So
it's going to be a very clever crane.
Yeah.
And something that that you were saying about as well with this project is putting in wishes for the future as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you send us cranes, if you write your dream or your message at the wing, that'd be great. Maybe it might be difficult to see, but at least if you write something, people are very excited, And when we made, for this project, we made these cranes, we asked people, dementia, elder people to write their dream at the wing. And then some of them write a beautiful dream, like I want to go out with my face with makeup. And then, so they had so many dreams there. So we really kind of pray for that dream will come true. So we have a theme that, with this project, everybody's dream comes true.
Oh, yeah. And I think at this time, it feels like the world is in a bit of a mess. To think of positive, kind of orderly, beautiful, peaceful activity coming together, it's really beautiful.
And also that one of the beauty of this project is that not only for this project, not only for dementia patients, but also people around them, because by making cranes, we can make this dementia patient smile, which make us smile.
Yeah.
So really this is about one of the mission for us is to want to expand the circle of smiles. So by making this, we become smile. We become smile by making other people smiles.
We do, and in many ways, I mean, I think everyone would sort of, would struggle with the idea of the thought of one day being in a care home. It's not a situation anyone would really want. So to think that in that situation you can find, smiles and joy, it's a bit like my work with patients within oncology. They can be in a really difficult place, but you can still, it's amazing, the human spirit, you can still find joy during difficult times.
Yeah.
And that just makes it all so much better for everybody.
Exactly. So that's kind of make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Even I see that, I saw that even now, like after coming to Oxford, I get to know Lizzie, and then actually like Lizzie made cranes, and we one of the elder people, a person made a crane, and then gave Lizzie a present. Yes. And then Lizzie is very nice, and then she said thank you on the video, and then I shared the video with the person who live in Osaka, and this elder person was very, very excited and very happy, and she responded back in Japanese, and I translate to Lizzie. So we already have a communication between elder people in Osaka and also Lizzie who are living in Oxford through origami cranes. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, and actually, you don't necessarily need language, do you, with origami?
Exactly.
The folding, the feeling. I've learned so much origami through YouTube where people can be speaking another language, and it's lovely. It's lovely to hear.
Yes, actually, many of our colleagues, our project member, saw Lizzie's YouTube explaining how to do origami cranes and introducing our project. And many of them don't understand English, but they receive the message from Lizzie. And they are, some of them say that they want to see that video again with their family.
That's so nice.
Yeah, even though they don't understand the language, but they really understand the spirit and the message. So that's beautiful.
That is really beautiful. It'd be lovely, wouldn't it, if people around
Yeah.
the world made little YouTube videos of them folding cranes, talking about it. We have no idea what they're saying, but we know it's lovely, and be able to see people in different countries around the world folding cranes together. So I've put in the message box, for those of you now, Kimi's address at the moment, which is in Oxford. For those of you who are watching this film back, then do get in touch through Origami Pulse, and you can get in touch through our email there. So, and I will forward that. So if you're in the UK or Europe, then we've got an address in Oxford to then send on to Osaka, which will be so lovely. And then also, Kimi, you said you'll be sharing photographs of what we create, and obviously it's a small very small contribution compared to everything else that you're doing there, but we'll be able to see photographs of the exhibition in July. That'd be amazing.
Yes.
And you are a part of it, and you're
Yeah,
supporting.
we are planning to do that, and that is our one of the most important part. And also your contribution is huge, because for people, elderly people and people with dementia, many of them maybe they never been abroad, and also of course it's now difficult to go abroad right now, and then so for them to see the cranes flew from abroad, to see that itself is so exciting. So we're planning to make a special section and of the origami cranes from abroad. So they are now so excited to see that. So that's a huge, huge contribution. And then we were planning to take a photo or video. We're going to up in our SNS and definitely send to Lizzie. And so that, Lizzie, you can share with this, people who make libraries, and then somehow we're going to figure out a way so that you can see the final art. So you can see that how one of these art will be your origami cranes.
Amazing.
So it's great that, it's a very difficult time to travel abroad, but your origami cranes can travel to Japan.
That's so nice. Yeah, flying over there. Really beautiful. And the papers as well. Because actually I went to South Korea as well, and there people fold a lot too. And actually most of the papers that I'm using are from Korea, not from Japan, which tend to be more plain. But really curious, because actually it's very different, isn't it? The papers you can use in Japan, very decorated as well. Where does that come from? Is that an important part?
I think that, that we have different kinds of origami, and let's see, some origami is like, let me see, like what I make, like this kind of pattern. There are so many kinds of pattern of that. This is called chiogami in Japanese. There's so many different kinds of patterns. And we have this kind of traditional design of paper, and then or like just a single color, like a pink or red. So when I made in the elementary school, is a kind of simple color, but we have so many different patterns. Let's see, like this, like these kind of colors patterns. So we have so many different kinds of origami patterns, and then we made a different kind of colors. So that is very important for us. But at the same time, I really love that new pattern, so if you make some with interesting paper, that's also great too. Like as I said, that the paper with the French letters, or some like wrapping paper or something, even your notebook. That is exciting for us to see, wow, what this language is, maybe it's very exciting for people who receive that, because we never see that, usually we don't see that, origami crane is French language or English language.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. Yeah, so do use, if you've got sort of scrap paper, which you...
like what it is, like that is be kind of add the great new taste in the origami cranes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Has anybody got other questions, other thoughts? How are you feeling? Are you feeling inspired to create cranes at home, to obviously to contribute to this? Has it been lovely to hear from from Kimi. Just thinking that this could be a much more bigger. Oh yes, Sula, it could be a bigger, ambitious project for maybe next year. For like reaching
Yeah,
goals,
actually,
join the origami challenge of learning to fold a crane and then sending their pieces to Japan. And
yes, exactly. Actually, that's what I'm trying to say. We have this exhibition this summer. So for this exhibition, I need to receive the origami crane by June 13th. No, sorry, June 12th. However, we have a much bigger goal. In 2025, there will be a huge exhibition in Osaka, Kansai. And then we would like to decorate that exhibition related to site with 1 million origami cranes. So this is a part of that process. So we're thinking to do similar event next year and 2 years from now. So we are kind of continuing this initiative. So even if we cannot make it by this June 12th, we are continuing that. So if you made some origami cranes and sent to Japan, we can definitely have a chance to exhibit in the future too.
are you kind of with the cranes? Do you tend to, will you add to the collection or do you recycle them? What do you do?
Oh, actually,
from bigger the collection.
yes, we already have a relation with some organization which can do the recycling paper company, which is going to help us after we finish all this big exhibition 2025.
Yeah.
They're going to recycle all this paper.
Wow.
So your paper wouldn't be wasted.
Yes.
This will be recycled. So we haven't decided what to do after this recycled paper. Maybe we're going to have another project with that paper.
Yes.
But anyway, so don't worry, we wouldn't waste it.
Oh.
So some nice organization, company understand and our mission, and they offer their help to us.
That's so lovely. But for now, you're keeping all of the cranes together for 2025. They will kind of add.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. So I'll be here like kind of in and out, but on almost 1 year and here and there. But after 2023 February, I'll go back to Japan. But even after going back to Japan, I want to continue doing this project with you and in England too. So, and I hope that this will be a great first step.
Really beautiful. Oh, thank you from Laura as well. I was going to send a crane with some mindful messages. Yes, write on those messages, hopes for the future. And think of it flying across the world.
Yeah, if you write in wings, I definitely share with them. And if you add some more messages, in the piece of paper or send me an email or something, I definitely share with a Japanese colleague too. So yeah, that'd be great because people will be very touched. So if we want to add something like here or different paper or something, please do that. I'll share it in Japan. And Lizzie, and people for the people who made the cranes in the library, they can give to the staff member, right?
That's right. Yeah, they as I said, they've been so inspired. Actually, it blew my mind just how much in the library they said by doing this monthly fold inspired them, and they've continued with that, and they use the videos, but also just how it's lifted their spirits, and it gives them a time when they feel people are more together, a sense of community.
Yeah.
And it's all about paper, a library full of paper as well. So it's a different way of appreciating paper too.
Yeah. I want to say that thank you very much for the staff people in the library to cooperate with us. And also we have the kind of similar value to do that for the communities. Yeah. So now we are communities in Japan, a community in Oxford, be kind of connected. So it's kind of, we feel like become bigger communities.
Yeah. Sule, did you want to, I know you did want to say something, sorry, feel free.
Oh, it's okay. Every time I feel so inspired that I prefer to put the hand down because it has been like an honor to be here, really. And the more you talk, the more I feel like full of joy, how we are connected. And also I just wanted to add that, we live in the UK, but there is a connection with paper, even from John, I will say, for boats. You remember, Lizzie, the boats, like Lizzie once, sent like a video of beautiful boats, in the river with a lovely message, and that's something that I have experienced, how people remember or a boat or a plane, but they have always done origami. And I usually, if you can add a little bit about like what it means, like ori, that we know that it means to fold, and gami, but it's kami. How do you say that in Japanese? Origami.
Origami, the pronunciation of origami. In Japanese, we call it origami. So origami is the same. And the paper means kami, but when you have the ori is folding and kami is paper. But it's ori and kami get together, it's become origami.
We gain a G.
We didn't get origami. So origami, if you say origami is correct Japanese, if you talk to any Japanese person, they understand what is origami. So I was so, I myself was so impressed that, origami is, in the alphabet origami, like origami pulse, it's the same name, same name. So I was so moved by that. But, it's a folding paper means origami.
That's so lovely.
I just want to add about that, because when we got to Lizzie, it actually started in Liverpool, because our other friend Angela got to me, and we met in Southport. And it was actually the one that mentioned, oh, there is this doctor in Oxford. I heard her, I read an article, and well, it was how we connected with Lizzie. And since then, it was like a labor of love, first looking for the name, and we knew that it needed to have origami, and it was like a I don't know, it wasn't that effort so much, because it was the pulse, it was about the heart, and how it just brings like life, and also in the beginning, we wanted like a logo that it had wings. It was like a heart with wings. But after I found out that it have copyrights, and it just came to me one morning, because we have this stamp, and we have like, I do a lot of craft. Lizzie and me, we tend to mix like scissors, glue, and be a little bit like unconventional approach with origami. And I have this little tiny punch that it have a heart, and I just punch, and I said, this is just, I think this will be it, but we needed to discuss it, between the three of us, and they love it. And after I said, okay, yeah, sorry, Lizzie, yeah, and after it was me, the one that wrote on the wings origami pulse, and I just sent it. It was something like quite crafted, and yeah, Lizzie, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just perfect. Zulay she can have just such visions of what's right, and it's just perfect. Yeah, the heart, that to me, and for all of us, that's why we do it. It's kind of, because I do my own art in a very unique, different way, but that's kind of for me. Whereas I think origami is different. It's about, I think it comes from very much your gift culture, Kimi, of reaching out, community, sharing, and the way that makes you feel. And that's just been I don't know, it's been transformational for me personally as well.
And it was an amazing experience for me too. Like I just arrived to Oxford, the end of March, and I met Lizzie like end of April, and it's all happens. And then I really appreciate, and also I feel like this is the power of origami cranes. Like these origami cranes connect us, and then otherwise, I wouldn't see you, or I couldn't see all of you who are joining these sessions. It was kind of like, for me, the magical, I kind of like origami cranes connect us all.
Yeah. And there's something about origami always, even just the word, the feeling, it always makes people smile. Because so for me, actually, the origami came from my work in a hospital, which I absolutely love, encouraging people initially to get creative, drawing, painting. Most people are terrified of these things. I mean, really, there is no right or wrong when it comes to art. So it's wonderful things happen if you give it a go. But for most people, I think it comes back to school, actually. I think most teachers have, because they've given them marks, have made people feel that they can't do art. And it's ridiculous. It is about your own expression. But origami it's different, and I think it has a different association because it comes from friends. It's about friends and family. It's not about being judged. And it was actually a patient in this case who asked me to learn from her. And she's from Hong Kong, actually. And she'd been unwell as a child and again as an adult. I don't know whether I've shown this to you. I think I have to much of this group, but just to show you, this is where I learned a different traditional fold, but just so beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Would make these gorgeous
Beautiful,
traditional
gorgeous.
lilies. And also, again, it's a bit unconventional for maybe the Western origami of involving a bit of glue and cutting. And yeah, so she would make bunches of flowers again as gifts. So she would make them while I'm well in hospital to thank the healthcare workers and family and friends for their care, and it would make them smile. And actually, you know, what else have we got in life but that, particularly when things are difficult? If you're using time, you're doing something that will help others, it will help you too. So she asked me to learn and pass it on. To be honest, I would never have done it if it wasn't for a patient asking me to do it. And it wasn't something I naturally did, because I prefer, on the whole, making up my own things. So this is quite sort of self-disciplined, but there's a beauty in that.
It's so amazing. And also, I was so impressed that, you know, origami kind of developed in the world, you know, like in a kind of like creative way. So it's kind of a new discovery for me. You know, there's so many origami fans in the world, and many people make very creative, artistic way. So I want to learn more from the people around the world, you know, how to do origami. So it was very exciting things for me to discover there's so many origami in the world.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, because that gift that has come from Japan has grown, and it continues to evolve. I mean, it's astonishing what's possible with a piece of paper. It really
Yeah.
Oh, and how much that can keep us engaged and inspired, and actually to do something which you purely enjoy for the sake of it, I think is really healthy. I think a lot of people have forgotten the need, I think the human need for hobbies. Like, it may not have any point, but if it makes you happy and it makes others happy, actually that is the point, and that's the point of life, really.
That is very important, especially right now.
Especially right now, and make that little effort, and it will cheer you up, and it will cheer others up as well. Oh, that's a lovely comment from Laura as well. Everyone remembers the first time they saw someone fold something. It seems like magic.
Ah, that's true.
Yes, it is, and actually that's so nice.
Beautiful. Yes, that's true.
Yes,
I completely agree with you.
and the magic link is quite strong here, Kimi. I don't know whether you know, our first president for the British Origami Society was a man called Robert Harbin, and he was a magician.
Oh.
Yeah, he was apparently a very famous magician on telly, and he came up with things like cutting a woman in half. He did but so some quite famous. He's a famous magician, and from what I understand, he discovered origami. His wife was unwell. I think very severe burns. He actually rescued her. Just an incredible story itself. But people, I think, in that situation of a long time in hospital would start folding, and they found that helpful. And that's where he saw origami.
Wow.
Really interesting, and
that's beautiful. That's the amazing story, and also that's how he started the Origami Society in Britain, right?
Yes, yes. But it's very much it's magic, and I think that's we need to feel and believe in that magic, don't we, as adults too? And I always think actually the only thing with magic is it involves a bit of trickery, really. Whereas there is no trickery in origami. It is just simply amazing, and there's no sort of deceiving you. It just is amazing.
Yes.
And we need some magic in our lives. Oh, thank you so much, Kimi, for your time and for
thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm so happy to be here, and then to make this origami crane together with all of you who are joining for the Zoom and also in the libraries, and then just a special moment for me. And definitely I share this experience with my colleagues and also people who live in Kadama, Osaka. And so thank you very much.
Oh, many thanks. I think we're coming to the actually one last question. Sulai mentioned this as well. Can you mention about Sadoko and the Legend of the Thousand Cranes?
Yeah, I want to, but it's kind of a long story, so I'm not sure we can explain that within this time. And so it's such a important story. So basically, and Sadako, who was, I hope what I said is accurate, but she was in Hiroshima. He suffered from atomic bomb, and then she got sick. And then, that story, and then connected to origami cranes, the 1,000 origami cranes. But it's kind of full story, so I'm not sure I can explain that in this few
That's
minutes.
perfect.
Yeah.
And is this why as well we think of the crane as very much a simpler piece?
Yeah, exactly. That is really a simple piece, but it's a kind of like a very important story. So I don't want to,
yes,
in a short version.
For another time.
Yeah, so that is very important story. So
thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming along. I've put in, as I said in the message box, I hope you found the address. So if you're inspired to contribute any cranes, fold with others, and we'll maybe grow this even more for next year as well. Brilliant, the county library as well. I'm so glad that you've been able to join us. And this is recorded, so everybody can watch this again if they wish. Oh, you're welcome, everybody. Oh, if you have any other comments as well, do put them in the chat box. How has this made you feel? Anything you want to say about this? Because I will definitely